Now, finally, for all you die-hard fans, the wait is almost over.
Oh, they've been getting very excited in the studio about that, Dalek. We're very, very scared.
Turn around and exterminate us.
No, don't say that.
The new series of Doctor Who is about to hit our screens, but the question is, will Doctor Who's arch-enemy, the Daleks, look anything like this?
Key question. Well, we do know that the scarves and the floppy hats have been replaced with a more modern wardrobe, but have the baddies had something of a makeover too?
Lots of questions. Well, our arts correspondent David Sillitoe met the new Time Lord Christopher Eccleston and began by asking him if he was a Doctor Who fan when he was a child.
No, I wasn't a fan as a child, no. I was playing out when Doctor Who was on as a child. It didn't... There were key moments that I would tune in for, and that would be a regeneration, because as a child I was fascinated by the concept of a character remaining the same but looking different. I thought that was fascinating, and secondary to that, I wanted to see how they would do it, technically. And the other time I would tune in was the inside of the Dalek. As a child, I thought that was mesmerising. This idea of this thing that had been so frightening and so threatening was actually pathetic. I thought that, too, as a child, that was fascinating.
Now, your Doctor Who, he's got a nice northern accent and remarkably different from the others. Did you go back at any point and go, you know, I'm going to keep that bit of Doctor Who? On which bits can you jump?
I feel the old series, I think what we've jettisoned is the sexism of the underwritten female role. And also, you know, the defining characteristics of Doctor Who, to a certain extent, are heroism and intelligence. And there seemed to be being an equation drawn with RP, received pronunciation, that was the sole area, really. And you know, I felt that it was time to, along with the sexism, it was time for that to be kicked out, you know.
And of course, the key element of Doctor Who is the monsters. You're acting against monsters most of the time, are you? And Daleks and all the villains.
Yeah, the key element is things like the Daleks, the Slitheen, the Gelth, the Mox of Balhoon, the
Any
Face of
Cybermen coming back?
We're not, no. Cybermen, you have to wait for the Cybermen, but you get everything else. And what you get is Russell has created a whole new array of villains, creatures of his own, to add to the gallery of the last 40 years.
Now, some people, when they look back at the old episodes, they laugh at them and say, oh, you know, the Daleks being made with a sink plunger and things like that. You've got to compete against some big-budget American science fiction. I mean, kids are a lot more sophisticated these days, aren't they?
I think they are more sophisticated in terms of what they're taking visually, but I think you can still touch them. What a lot of the science fiction programmes we're going up against don't have is the kind of central message of Doctor Who, which is love life. You know, it's unashamedly emotional about... The Doctor's message seems to be, you have a short life, make sure it's a happy one and seize every moment and accept life in all its forms, which is a central message with him. You know, he doesn't react with horror when he sees a blue three-headed monster. He reacts with wonder, and I think that's a very important message to send out to children. And a lot of the series are kind of... The series you're talking about, Buffy, it's kind of postmodern irony and stuff, whereas this retains that kind of innocence, the innocence of its message, but also we've brought into line the production. As a child watching it, I was put off by some of the low production values. I don't have a camp sensibility. When the sets wobbled, it meant that the world wasn't real. I didn't believe in it, so I went out playing. Whereas I'd stay with Star Trek because the production values were high, as far as I could see, and the world was consistent. But we, in our new series, we're in line with all that. The production values are very high. We had a good budget, and we had, most importantly, we had brilliant people working on it at a crew level who've created. There's no wobbly sets. Bit of wobbly acting, no wobbly sets.
Now, you have to be prepared, of course, as soon as you become the Doctor, you will, for the rest of your life, have a large number of fans who want to write letters to you. Have you...
I might have enemies, might have a large number of enemies. Depends what they feel about me.
But you're prepared. It's over the years, it's developed quite a... there's supposedly 8,000 committed fans out there who've stayed year after year after year. Have you encountered any of them so far in their home?
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite fortunate because I've been in the business, varying degrees of kind of exposure for over the last 18 years. And so I know a little what that's like. When I was cast in the role, I immediately met a number of Whovians, for one, you know, should we call them Whovians? And they have been unfailingly polite and gentle and encouraging to me, and I'm very grateful to it. They've been around the set, they've watched us filming, and I think they're passionate and grateful that the series is returned, and I've enjoyed every encounter with them. They're not interested in any of the details of your personal life. What they want to know is what it's like being a Time Lord. And I share, you know, I'm like that about reggae and soul music. I have that gene, that slightly obsessive thing. So it's been a pleasure, and I genuinely hope that they're happy with what I and we have done. Hopefully it's going to be a programme that the family will watch together, like all the best television. I think I would like 8 to 12-year-olds to take me into their heart. I don't think I've got much of a chance with Tom Baker and John Pertwee fans. And I respect that fidelity, really. I respect that loyalty. I have it myself to Sean Connery as James Bond. But I'm hoping that 8 to 12-year-old children I'll be their first Doctor, and they'll love me the way people love Baker.
And why did you want to be the Doctor?
Because Russell T Davies wrote it, and because it was an audience and an area television that I hadn't worked in. I've not had the privilege to act for children, really. And because I'm constantly told that I'm not funny and I'm not charming, and they were some of the demands in the role, so I felt it was a big gamble. There's 2 reasons to do it, Russell T Davies and the gamble, and I like a gamble. I think it's important as an actor or in any sphere of life to do the things that frighten you most.
And it's Daleks that do that.
It certainly is. Scary stuff. Stay with us here on Breakfast for more Doctor Who after 9 o'clock. We're going to have more on the new series when we'll be hearing from the Time Lord's glamorous assistant, Rose Tyler, played, of course, by the actress Billie Piper.